Alright, sorry. I thought we were on the wrong stream there for a second, but I got trolled. We are on the right stream here. We're on NCeSPA. CSGO! That's the stream. So, just gonna take off the scoreline, and it's gonna go live for the knife round in half a second. And there is a little bit of lag, but if you can see at the bottom there, on the stream, I have 200 FPS right now. This is not me lagging. I do not believe.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing, so I definitely think it's the server. Maybe HLTV relay, maybe it's the new update. Who knows?
Alright, so let's see. What personally, okay, currently I'm going to tell you my theories on Dust 2 and CS, okay. First of all, I think 5 SMGs is now the way to go. Okay, you can tell me if have you been streaming at all? Like, do you have any insight on this other than just theory
Yeah,
crafting?
the MP7 is an insane weapon now. It's insanely accurate. It does 4 body shots, you're dead without armor. I mean, it's an absolute nightmare if you're trying to eco now. I think it's used into the 3rd, 4th even round. I saw Nip holding on to it for like 4 or 5 rounds if they don't die. It's definitely also a good force buy weapon now. I'm seeing that as picked up more than the FAMAS.
Yeah, and then, well, because of that, I was like kind of theory crafting into the future. Obviously, I don't scrim a ton, but I was like, I feel like that's gonna make force buys dead, where you buy like Tech 9 armor, because I feel like now that you can buy an MP7, because one of the goals of like Tech 9 armor was like you want to win the round, but if you don't win the round, then you've done some economic damage. You've killed people that have spent and invested a lot of money into the round. But now it's like if you buy Tech 9 armor and you get 3 kills but you lose the round, you've invested more money than them because they're making back like 600. So do you think like Tech 9 armor or 5.7 armor is still kind of viable, or do you think it's more situational?
I think it's situational. It's definitely still viable, at least the Tech 9 side, but I mean, if you can afford an MP7 on CTs, I think they have an answer now against that Tech 9 armor rush. Those MP7s will really bolster up, and if you lose out, you don't lose as much money. You also get more kills per round with the MP7, so I think the changes have really nerfed the Tech 9 worse than the actual nerf to the gun itself. It was the upgrades to the SMGs, because those highly mobile weapons are what you want against it.
And actually,
and there's the knife round start.
Yeah, I was thinking, the game I was casting earlier, they got in some battles with MP7s against Tech 9s, and it was like, I was thinking it's almost like the opposite of what you would get against the FAMAS, where if you have a Tech 9, it almost feels like you have an advantage at long range and not at close range. But that's probably just the way that round played out. It's pretty RNG. I really don't know how the MP7 is. Honestly, I don't use it. I still stick with the, I'm old school. I'm old school with the Bison. I still use the Bison on T side and the ump on CT side. So I haven't, I'm living in the past right now.
The Bison, I mean, 4 or 5 months ago, I would totally agree with you, but not much anymore. I mean, the 64 bullets is pretty handy, but
yeah.
Now that armor is such a prevalent thing on second round, it really makes the Bison a useless weapon.
I don't feel like it's as bad as people seem to think it is. Like, really, I think it's, I mean, it's not an amazing gun, but I think people overestimate how bad it is against armor. I really think people do. But, like, my old theory used to be that on T side, you could, what a good buy, in my opinion, would be like, you get, what, you can do what Synergy used to do, which was, Synergy you kind of went overboard, but you could do like, a couple Bisons or Mac 10s, and 3 Galils, and then you have the Bisons or Mac 10s run in, and if they die, it's like you don't even replace the person's 5.7 with the Bison. They don't even upgrade. And then if you...
That's not a terrible idea.
Like, it's just instead of going in with the Tech 9, you go in with the Bison. That was, like, my theory on second rounds. But now, you basically can just 5-man MP7, and then it's all good. So, heading into the pistol round, we've got 4 men with armor. This is live. Okay, so we've got 5 men with armor, which is going to signal... It should just be an A split here is what I'm guessing. or some sort of A rush. And actually, that is exactly what they're doing. They're running a 4-up cat, and one's going to delay long. And when they get up cat, it's going to be up to Chai to hold on. He's in good position to actually make this one happen with a nade. He's got a P250 actually, so he's got no armor. So he's going to have to land some shots. And actually, as this happens, Yarley's coming out long, and he finds the dink, and he's going to find the frag as well here in a second. There you go. But the cat take has been completely obliterated, and that's the round already over.
Yeah, the T's had a good position getting up cat quickly, but the CTs were really set up for the retake there on cat. They made sure they held long. The long rotator kind of pushed in a little late or early. He should have been lurking there a little late and waited till the action on cat kind of died down. He got picked off immediately, which gave the CTs all the focus on cat, and those guys just got strung up. They did get a good bomb plant though, so you're probably going to see a force buy in the third round.
Yeah, that was I've never seen a strat like that on a Dust 2 pistol round. Usually, usually you run 1 or 2 smokes. The most common strat I've seen recently is definitely a mid-B split or something like that. More of a delayed cat take with a few nades to work with. But anyways, as I'm saying this, they're running 5-man out mid. They're really for these 5-man strats, and they're running right up mid. They've lost 1, make that 3. They're losing their whole team, that is. And that was not even a close round there. And
yeah, Cal State had a great setup for that. I mean, they just left mid open and just pinched them on both sides. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better eco round. And there you are with the 3.5 MP7s getting bought up there. That's just such good money when you get kills with that gun. They're already up to 4,200. They're going to be looking great first gun round. And looks like the T's decided not to buy up, so this is going to be another good save here.
Well, they did buy their first nades of the game. They got a smoke and a flash, so their 6 keys do work. And they can make this happen, so they're going to run a long A split towards Cat, and they could take down Chai. That would be pretty big, but he's here with the MP7. He does get the trade, so that's what he really needed, and the shot onto Long and Cat from Dangerous. This is going pretty well for him. This is an interesting buyout. I didn't even realize this. They had 3 MP7s and 2 scouts, and that's kind of an interesting strategy to kind of run your anti-ecos on.
I really like it. I love the scout and second and third round buys. We always at least have 2 on our team as well when we win pistol. It's such a great gun. If they're unarmored, they die. If they're armored, you know, you hurt them really bad. The MP7s clean them up.
Yeah, you kind of have to run the buddy system a little bit with those so you don't get 5-man rush, but you can see they had perfect setups against those 5-man rushes. Their scout fell right on back, and he had support from an MP7, and same thing at long, so no harm really in holding a scout if you have good setups. And as I say, that Dangerous finds the scout on a gun round as well. Great nade, finding the damage, and then one-shotting him with the scout to finish him off, but it's going to be up to Deca to hold on. He does find that first frag. Now he's going to get peeked out here in a second. He doesn't go down, and he's actually going for the repeat. He's a little bit more dangerous now since the op update, but he's not worried about it at all, and he did bring it down into a 4v4, and actually Ebola here could push out long in a second, and he would take down the bomb if he pushes out long, but he's playing it a little bit safe, and Tech is picking them apart now. God bless me, the final member remaining, 1 versus 5. Actually, I thought it was a 4 versus 4 at one point. That's my fault. This is a 1 versus 4 now as God Bless Me gets 1 kill, but this is basically over here.
Oh yeah, they're just going to surround it. I mean, Dust 2 is much like Cash, Mirage, you know, very centric mid. You have to have mid control for the T's to execute. We send like 3 mid every round to make sure we hold mid. If you get picked early, that just really destroys any kind of setup or kind of set strat you have in mind. After that, you really just try to even the score and then hit a site together. But they have an interesting, it's just a basic 3-1 here for the CTs. They're running it pretty standard, even on this eco. A heavy B, heavy mid would work against this team, but it's kind of interesting to see how quickly those A players do rotate. So it's not a bad setup.
Yeah,
Deca just saying Deca, mid is his.
Exactly, Deca. It seems to be there's 2 kind of theories on how you should play Dust 2 from what I've experienced. You have this setup where you're very confident in your mid player here, and you're basically saying, look, Deca, you do whatever the hell you want. You're going to kill everybody anyways, and we'll play 1B, who hopefully is very good at soloing sites. And you're kind of weak to that mid-B split, like you said, but you're strong against any sort of A hit. And then the other setup is a little bit different. A lot of teams like to run it where they're a little bit less confident in their opera, or maybe they're a little bit more worried about that mid-B split. They play 2 basically in B with 1 supporting towards mid, and they play 2 A. And I find that to be a little bit more risky. I prefer to play 3-1-1, but recently it's become more and more common. Anyways, they are hitting out long this time with guns, and Ebola missing shot after shot, finally able to find the kill, and they gave him time to reload so he can get more, but instead he does go down, and the trade comes out from Dangerous. And actually, that makes it a 4v3. Make that a 4v2 as Farley goes down as well. So this is looking very good for the CTs again, and they're already up 5-0. The Kateras have to pull something off here. UC San Diego needs to start pulling something together here, and they possibly could do it here with Freddy with the off in hand. If he can find an entry, he can open up the round, especially against Chai here. They're close up. He needs to land a quick shot, and he does. Great, sort of a quick scope there. You can't really quick scope, but still good enough. And now he's gonna get this peek onto an offer, and great spot there from Dandris. Through the box, finds the kill, basically closing out the round here, unless God bless me, can land something insane, and he's getting shot at from all angles, and there's the round.
Yeah, Dan's plays that long really well. I personally think that box should be fixed. It's really hard to see a CT there. You peek out slow, he's got you. You peek out fast. If you jump out or smoke that front cat, you can get around that. But the CTs are playing that heavy A setup, so it looks like the Ts really need to kind of change their style here. These kind of A splits where they're kind of weak taking A and trying to fall back to cat isn't really working out for them. See the kind of more a mid-centric type play this round. Let's see how it works out for him.
Yeah, Dust 2 is one of those maps where it's tough to pin CTs down when they do pushes like Chai's doing here. Aggressive on cat, finds some damage, not able to find a kill, but Tudagos actually finds the kill. So that makes this a 4v4, but look at the rotate coming in. They're trying to push through. Dan through the same spot yet again, finds another kill, shut this one down in its tracks. Second as well, and now Freddy and Tudagos say, you know, you run first. No, you run first. They don't want to run out into Dan again, and they're just going to turn around in 2v4. It seems like it turns into a 1v3 or a 2v4 every round before they realize that that strat is not going to work. And as I was saying earlier, Dust 2 feels to me like a map where it's tough to pin a counter-terrorist team down onto a setup, especially if you're playing against a counter-terrorist team that likes to do random aggressive pushes. But if you can pin them down and say they're running a 3-1-1, I feel like it's fairly easy to exploit a counter-terrorist team just because there's a fairly obvious holes. If you're playing 2 towards A, you hit A, and if they're playing a 3-1-1, which is obviously what they're doing here, it should be easy to take B, or at least a mid-B split. And here actually comes
China's
the execute.
got his work cut out for him here.
He's gonna find one. Daka on the rotate though. He's the man trying to find some frags. China with a second as well. Nearly a third. But he is gonna go down. So at least they're getting control of a site. This is a first. And we're gonna get to bomb plant as well. Now Triton actually, or Jungle, sorry, goes down. And Tudagos, the final member remaining, finds one, but gets spammed back straight through the box for the 8th round for Cal State Long Beach. And actually, I just want to mention, everybody in chat before the game was saying, I bet my life savings on UCSB. And this is another NIP versus
easy skins.
Team X scenario. Or if G-Play beat Titan, maybe it's that all over again.
China did exactly what he needed to do in B. He got that first frag and then he stayed alive. Like, it's not your really job in B to get entries as much as to delay the T side from really taking that site totally. And what he did is he gave plenty of time, and the second, you know, he dropped China and they started getting the bomb plant, 3 CTs are outside ready to execute on that retake. And that's exactly what you need to do as a B player.
And it looks like finally UC San Diego is recognizing they're playing a weak B, so they're going to try and split here. They are being very, very transparent about this split, so the rotate's already coming in. They need to find these entries here, and it's going to be up to Yarly.
Nice.
He has plenty of damage off. Jungle does find an entry on B, and Deca goes down as well. So this is 3v3. This is the best site take they've had all game. Kai, though, is on the rotate. Actually, he goes down, so this is looking very good, especially with the second frag. Yarly going big here with a 3K and putting his team on his back a little bit here.
That's what UC needed to do. They needed to take control of that mid, and they executed it really well. It was telegraphed. Looks like Ebola here is going to try to clutch this out.
Yeah, he's actually got a chance here, though, as he took Yarly down a little bit low, and he's got some time if he runs in now. Coming in through window, he could take down Yarly, but instead, Jungle supporting his teammate there, takes him out, and that's round number 1 for UC San Diego, but this is where it starts to get a little bit dicey.
And those 1v3s you could take all day when you have 12K on your teammates. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You got money to spend, why not take the chance, you know, make a good clip of the week, or, you know, you lose and no big deal, your team or yourself can just buy out and go again. Yeah, we're seeing a 2-op setup now for the CTs, so they've been running fairly consistently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They've run it a few times now, and they found some success because Dangerous is just so good with this at A, and Deca's been getting picks all game at mid, and there he takes down the Opper from, that is UC San Diego Triton. That's, I believe, their team name here, and he makes that happen. So, but actually he's in the middle of the open here, and with a flash out, he could definitely get punished for this. Unless he lands a great shot, and there you go. Yarley gonna punish him for playing so aggressively.
Now they're exploding on B again.
Yeah, and Chinese is all alone. He's got to go massive here. He's got to go mental, and he's gonna find one. Now he's gonna try and push out and get away from the site, but instead Yarley putting his team on his back right now for the last 2 rounds now. That's 2 entries from him, and he's secured B bomb site for his teammate. Retake already coming in. Dangerous with 1 close range with the op. Jungle gonna trade back, and the forced retake is coming in, but Triton says no thank you. Jungle with the 2K, God bless with 1, and they close that bomb site down for business.
I think it's yeah really, but I like Yarley a lot better, so I'm probably gonna stick with that.
Oh, it's yeah. I hate 2-word names.
Yeah, very confusing.
Yeah. But
actually, Cal State can get in some trouble here if they lose this round. They're dropping out economy, and UC is starting to build it up, and they've realized that they're weak B, so now they're going to play a 2-1-2, which is a great adjustment here. It looks like they're trying to do a default now.
Yeah, and if they don't,
T's are kind of setting up just to find a pick and explode.
Exactly, and if they don't give it up that they're playing a 2-on-2, you could definitely see UC San Diego fall into the trap, because you can see Cal State not giving it away, not making too much noise, not letting them know that they're playing a 2-on-2. So UC San Diego, as actually they get picked off there, which is opening up the round a little bit, but you can see Dangerous here playing right next to the door. He doesn't want to give it up. They're basically just want to let them think it's a 2-1-2, so they force and execute towards B, and it's an easy hold. And as I say that, Jungle looks like he might want to execute towards B, but actually he's going to head towards Cat, and Chai's going to be here to try and shut that down. Great shot to start, and finally the first frag, and now he's going to take down Tutagos as well. Now Freddy with the op is going to go down on top of that to Dangerous, and that's the round they needed to start to bring it back in their favor. Of course, 9 rounds now, but it was getting kind of scary there for them for a second.
Yeah, UC San Diego's not really setting up those trades, like sending that guy solo Cat. I mean, if you're going to want to execute on a mid, you want to hold Cat and make sure they don't push behind you, but sending him up there alone not to get a trade, that's just an easy frag with the CTs. Now they know where you're at. They've got another pick, and now you're down to 3v4 trying to take a site.
And now Triton, UC San Diego is on the eco. They could have 4-spot, I think, but instead they're just going for the save. Playing a little bit safe with the save. They're going to head towards A, where, look at the setup. Again, they're so dedicated towards B. Cal State is that if Ebola had gone down, that would have been basically a free A site. Instead, he found his frags with that M4, and he's finding some more as well. And he does get taken down there in the end, but Tutagos 1 versus 4, P250 and no armor. This would be about one of the best clutches I've ever seen if you take that one up, and Chai's going to say, no, you don't, and takes off his head.
I think Cal State read that UC was going to be on a save. They set, China their solo A. And I think they did that because they're really confident in their A retake, and they had quick rotates. They're playing like 3 towards middle. So, I mean, even if they were, to take him down without a trade, I think they would have been okay in that situation. I mean, 'cause the CTs, their rotates are really on point. They're not afraid to do retakes on A as opposed to B, and they're really, really good at doing it.
And that's the same setup they did run in the previous gun round, though, where they ran 1 guy close Cat, 2 guys mid, and 1 guy B, and that's basically saying, like, well, look, we're confident in our A player here, and we think you're going to hit B anyways, so who cares? And actually, Chai, again, this is the same setup again. 2 mid, 1 B, 1 Cat, and if UC San Diego hits towards B, this is basically the best possible setup for Cal State Long Beach to have, other than stacking literally 5 men towards B. And actually, as I say that, Ebola's going to push out long as well, so they are so rotated over, but actually Ebola could
get caught out.
Yeah, he could get caught out here, and he could actually call for a rotate they don't want, but now he hears them coming. He's going to find one, nearly a second, actually not able to land the shots, but he did get traded out. He did get that information over to his team, so that makes this a 3v4, as well as Freddy went down in mid, but this is somewhat winnable here by UC San Diego, because Cal State Long Beach is kind of caught with their pants down here. They have to rotate over a whole bunch, and actually, as I say that, Deca is going to start to close out this round. Jungle, though, might have something to say about this. If he could take out Deca, they're kind of looking at each other here, almost. And one of them's going to see each other in a second, and really, it's going to be up to Jungle to find the frag. But actually, as I say that, Dangerous finds the frag at long, and Chai closes it out on Cat. So that's 11-2 now, and this is starting to be a pretty easy game here for Cal State Long Beach, it seems.
Yeah, it's the ops on Cal State are just absolutely locking this map down for them. Deca and Dan always getting those good first picks, good first reads, and then Chai, who's playing a really aggressive Cat solo, which might seem kind of, you know, you might want to be hesitant against that, but the information he's gathering is so crucial. Even if he were to fall, he knows that he calls this rotates out for his team. It looks like we're going to have a straight-up B rush here.
They're going to run right in. Chinese, though, fragging out this time. He's got two. Deca with the third, and this should be an easy round here. Chinese closing it out with the 3K and plenty of damage, nearly finding the 4K, but yeah, Chai, it is very dangerous for him to play aggressively on Cat, but UC San Diego, they're very slow to actually adapt here. It took them, what, 9 rounds or so to finally recognize they needed to do a B split, and now with Chai going aggressive on Cat, they haven't really adapted at all, because they could definitely find a nade stack, take him down if they played, you know, a good setup there, and then actually start to open up the round for themselves if they recognize it, but they haven't yet. Actually, they're going to run right out long, though, find the first frag, and they might be able to catch Ebola Serial here. Oh, no, actually, he makes it around the corner, but still, that's the 5v4 they wanted. However, if they force this, they could get picked apart, because look, there's 3 members here from Cal State waiting for them, and there you go, spraying them down at the cross. Ebola and Chai both with on. Chai with the second as well, and this is going very poorly here for UC San Diego, but Tudagos and God Bless Me have something to say about that, both with a frag, and no, God Bless Me, though, left alone. But Chai is very low here, so this is doable here for God Bless Me if he lands his first one, especially this first one on a Deca here.
And Deca's got a read on him pretty heavily here.
Actually, God Bless Me just spotted him out of there if you didn't realize it, though. But he's actually getting very close. He could find this frag. There you go. And now Chai, 1 versus 1. Oh, nearly the turnaround frag. But Chai does manage to close it out with that 4K. And that's halftime. 13-2. This is not the scoreline you want to see on Dust 2.
Yeah, what the CTs did really well was throw that long A smoke that blocks off and allowed their players to push through that connector smoke and then set up that crossfire with the A player before they were executed. They kind of lagged on that execute on long, and they're kind of hesitant. They're like, should we go? Should we fall back? They finally decided to go, and by the time that was happened, you already mentioned the 3 players were there to crossfire, just beautifully able to take out all the players from Cal State. I'm sorry, UC.
So heading into this one, you can see Cal State Long Beach, the exact opposite ideology on their pistol round. Look, they've got 3 players fully naded up, and they're going to run for a straight-up fake here and then late long. And if they get any frags at all on this fake, that's all they need. And they're getting plenty of damage, drawing so many rotates, but not able to find a single frag, but that's not what they needed. The bomb's going to go down for long anyways, so it's going to be a retake here from UC San Diego, and if they plant for long like they just did, this is probably a 50-50 retake here, even though it's 3v5. I'd say Cal State Long Beach still has a good chance on holding on to this one unless they have a good retake here, and actually they're not running anybody long. This could go well. There's the first one. They're looking for the second. Deca finds one of his own, so Deca is definitely, he's the kind of the clutch man here, and actually Ebola with the Glock and Pit, though, he's going to have a hard time finding anything, and this is looking like a round for UC San Diego.
All low, too.
Yeah, I was just about to say, but yeah, really picked up a fantastic headshot with the USP, and that closes out, so maybe UC San Diego has a chance going into this one.
And I'm always a big fan of, you might not win the round, but getting the sure bomb plan is always the way to go for tees, especially when you have such a large score margin of, ahead. They're 13-2 going in. They're not really concerned if they lose the pistol. They're just happy to get that money, do a surprise buy on the 3rd round, and easily take this, within the first gun round.
And actually, Yarley here, close with an M4. This is pretty weird. He spots them all going on Pat, though, which is going to let Jungle get a spray down, and he gets 2. So that's $1,200 in the bank, and Freddy's already rotated over here to stop them from getting onto plat. So this shouldn't be a second bomb plant, and there are Yarley and Freddy both with frags to stop that one from happening. And now Chai, the lurk member, usually you want your team to actually take the side if you're going to successfully lurk, because when you're in a 1v4, they kind of understand exactly what you're doing, and he's going to get taken out here in a second. But back to that pistol round for a second. That could have gone so well Cal State's way if a single frag had been gotten by their players in B, because they drew a 5-man rotate even without finding a single kill. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. And of course, this eco round not destined for success. They only had 2
Counter-terrorists win.
So there you go.
2 kills not terrible on an eco. It's kind of what you want. The minimum is 2 kills. If you don't get 2 kills on an eco, you'd call it a total failure. But with the MP7 buys and how much money they've got, they're in great shape to take this round as well.
I really like this read though by UC San Diego, and that did signal to Cal State not to buy out. So this read by UC San Diego, they were saying, like you said, you saw that Cal State picked up that bomb plant, and they expected Cal State to be buying up on round number 3. That's why they have so many M4s. Actually, they've got a perfect spray down on them running into sight. Actually, not able to get everybody though, so the bomb could go down here. Chai's gonna go for the plant immediately, and that's a great play by him. So he's gonna get the bomb planted. He's gonna go down, and it's all left up to Decker with his block. So basically, you may as well have a BB gun, and he's just gonna go down. But as I was saying, UC San Diego had a very good read there. They're losing a lot of economy just by losing 2 members as a CT side, but I like the back and forth read there because, like I said, UC San Diego, they bought up a lot of M4s on round number 2, expecting Cal State to buy up round 3, and Cal State, recognizing that they had so many M4s, didn't buy up on round 3 and just tried to get some more kills, got a little bit of economic damage done. So heading into round number 4, they've got a ton of money in the bank here.
Yeah, they're looking really solid now. Even if they lose this gun round, they could force buy But with the lead that they have, they're not too terribly concerned with the 4 spies. They just want to get their Opper, Deca, a good big green in his hands to just wreak havoc on them. But Freddy with a nice pick there on long to stop that read there. I think if they're going to try to take that B, if the A player kind of plays more passive, then they're not going to realize that they're stacking up on B. But they have 2 in sight. I think they're ready to hold.
Yeah, and actually, because that player got picked so early at long, and you can see all 4 members from Cal State in the same area, they have no way of knowing that UC San Diego is stacking B. Although it's not a 5-man stack, it's a 2-man stack, and with that entry, they may as well have been playing 3-1-1 because B is now only being held by 2 players. But actually, look, UC San Diego, they are gambling here just a little bit, saying, look, think you're going to go mid to B. And unfortunately, they're a little bit incorrect here because the bomb, they're running back over to A, and that's going to be up to Freddy. He is in a good spot here if they only come out long, though. He's in a perfect spot to stop this one from happening.
I think what happened, they heard Chai run down lower, and they were quick to rotate. They're like, oh, it looks like they're going to spread out and go hit another site. But Deca's still playing with him in B here, kind of keeping the guy at mid over towards B, so while they go towards A, it'll look like it'll be a 3-2 execute against the CTs. Which is promising for the T's because they've already taken up a lot of real estate on long.
Freddy peeking a little bit too late though, not able to get the long-range engagement, and they take him down. So that makes this a 2v3, and this is a round that UC San Diego, they can't afford to lose, but they can't afford to go for either because they're going to have to save here if they lose this round. And now Yarley, 1 versus 3, at least Chai is low, so he's got something going for them, and the fact that they're all stuck on plat, he could get a quick spray down here. There's the first one on Chinese, and there could be the second one on a Chai, and now the third, not quite. Ebola takes him down. So close there by Yarley, but just the positioning there from the T's, they were so collapsed because they had no idea what was happening from the counter-terrorists, and that allowed him nearly to pick that one up.
Yeah, it was a great move. Most of the time you'd think saving that situation, but I think he knew that all the T's were kind of stacked each other. One was low, that he had the chance to go for it. And now when you're down rounds, it's time to throw luck to the wind and just hope that you can skill out one more extra round for your team.
And it was so close to working too, but now they are going for the 4th spy, not going to let Cal State get on a match point without a fight. And Yarley actually with the auto sniper. I saw this earlier on Dust 2 actually, so maybe this is getting a little bit more common because of the scope movement change, because the auto doesn't move as slow as the off. So we'll see how this one goes. It's going to be up to really Deca to miss his shot here for Yarley to pick this frag up. And Deca not going to miss, and he's going to find the first frag. Dangerous does go down though, so he loses the AK, but luckily he did drop the bomb outside of long, so Freddy doesn't get information on where the bomb is. Jungle on Cat. He's able to find a frag of his own, but they still don't have control of the bomb, and that's the crucial part. Even though a frag went down, even though the advantage is here, actually, now it's a 3v3. No real map control here for UC San Diego, and they're very split up, and this is going to be a free mid, and it's going to be, God bless me, trying to pick a long-range engagement here against AKs with an MP9, but he is able to find a close range against Ebola, just not able to land the shot. And now it's Freddy and Jungle, although some members here on Cal State are very low and Chinese is stuck outside sight. If Freddy can win this engagement, this is going to be huge to actually put them back in the round. There's the one and Jungle in tunnels at the same time, leaving it all left up to Chai here. Back corner, he could land this, but they're both running in from the same angle. They know what's up, and he's going to be in a tough spot to find it. He doesn't even find a frag. He gets taken down right away, and there's round number... round number 20 over to UC San Diego. That's 14-6.
Yeah, I thought they were actually going to... UC was in a dire strait because even though Cal State missed that mid-smoke, they left themselves open with backs to Freddy, and he missed an opportunity to get that kill, but luckily he was able to get that guy outside of B, and then his teammate there in tunnels was able to take out the other B player, so a very easily 2-on-1 situation where they took the site together, had some smokes in place for Carr, and were able to jump in there and find him backside fairly quickly.
Yeah, even though they played a little bit solo to begin with, they both recognized that really backside is where they had to worry about. Very good teamwork, and they just didn't let anything happen there. So UC San Diego, honestly, they're able to make things happen. They're able to make these rounds close, even though the scoreline's looking a little bit more one-sided. But looking at the scoreboard, you can see a couple of their members are underperforming just a little bit. We've got Jungle and Yarly at the top there with 13 and 15, but 3 members with 8 or 6. There's 2 to go, some Freddy with 8, and God bless me with 6. They're underperforming a little bit, whereas on Cal State Long Beach, everybody's kind of equally fragging out. And as I say that, they're going to run right into B, throwing another fake. This is a pistol round strat yet again, and they need to find a frag to draw rotates this time, and they're not able to find anything at all. And the bomb does get spotted at long as well, but it's just how long until they rotate? The bomb was spotted, and now Jungle is here to try and spot the cross, but he doesn't have an op. And he actually thought that cross was smoked well, or else he probably would have tried to fire them through it. Instead, he runs right on over to Cat. This should be an easy retake here for UC San Diego. I don't see Cal State picking this one up. They do have an AK, though, and he's going to get naded. So I don't really see this one happening. Long range with the Tech 9, 1 versus 4? I don't know.
I mean, I think he did pick up a chance to take that retake. Problem is that the CTs had UC had a long player that did not rotate this time as they did on pistol, so he was able to get that bomb read fairly early, which the CTs didn't rotate right away, but they knew where the bomb was, and they still had 4 players up, so it became a pretty easy retake afterwards. But the goal of that strat's really just to get the bomb down, not really to win the round. So now they have plenty of cash. They got the op in Deca's hands, and it looks like the CTs are going to have a lot of work in front of them.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really the round where it's not going to be the score line that's saying it's possible, but it's going to be the fact that they've won, what would this be, 3 gun rounds in a row that would say maybe UC San Diego is back in this one. And this is really the one where if UC San Diego pick it up, Cal State Long Beach is going to start shaking their heads and wondering where everything went wrong when they lose 16-14. So we'll see how this one goes. Yarly,
you know, you would think I've heard Dust 2's become more CT-sided over the last year or so, which is true, but this is more like Inferno or like Nuke score lines, what we're seeing here. Like the CTs, really CT-heavy teams on both of these. The T's executes are still fairly well for Cal State. They look like they're getting those entry picks, but UC is just pulling out some amazing rounds.
Yeah, there's Yarly with a great spot. That's one of my favorite spots in mid there, picking off the head of Chai. Really not allowing anything to happen. He's just going to fall back, and that's what they needed. That's the 5v4 and the collapse fallback to solidify the 5v4 and make that a 5v1. Frags all across the map. That's just individual battles here being won by UC San Diego to make this round possible. And there's another one with Freddy taking down Deca as well.
And Dan caught out Jungle, not even paying attention to Long, and he caught him there open, but he missed his shot, which really would have helped that round because it would have taken more focus off mid and Cat, but he actually got picked off by Jungle in a nice 90-degree flick there, which is able to keep the focus there on mid and stop Cal State from getting any real estate up on Cat. Well played by UC.
So after this round, assuming they do pick it up, this is going to be 14-9, and this is one of those things where you kind of take it for granted. You're up 14-4 at one point, I believe 14-6 maybe, and you start to think, wow, it's one-sided. We can just relax, and then wow, all of a sudden it's 14-9, and they have a shot at this game, and that's what it's looking like right now. Especially because this eco is not an eco at all. It's basically they're working on pennies with 2 Glocks, and they're trying to run. I'm not sure what they're trying to run here. They're trying to get frags with P250s, which is probably not going to happen.
I think they're trying to maybe send that guy along to pull a rotate out of B, but I don't. It was kind of poorly done because there's only one guy. He got an early pick on him, but now they're flooding into B, and they're set up for this.
Yeah, Tudigo's going to find a couple. God bless me there, and the rotate comes in as well. It's 5 members by B before the round is over, and that was a quick round as well. So that's a pretty easy one there for UC San Diego. Cal State's
Momentum
lucky they found a single kill.
Yeah, momentum's a real thing here. Like, you could tell that UC is starting to pick up. They're starting to feel confident in their shots. They're starting to take those more aggressive picks. And Cal State is kind of collapsing here. They look like they're kind of becoming more disorganized on their strats. They're doing this really fanned-out default without any kind of clear intention on what they plan to do. And that momentum can carry these guys all the way to 14-14.
Yeah, it could. Unless Yarley gets picked off here, that could start to turn things around. He's in a weird spot here. He could definitely start to open this one up, especially since Chinamese is actually, they're going to walk with their back turns here in a second. Yarley just needs to turn around. He could be in such a good spot, actually, with the flash and top mid. He's going to be able to find nearly 2. And with the support, Jungle finds the second, but Chinamese, because they were walking with their back turned, he turned around and found that frag on the Jungle, making this a 3v3, and the execute's coming out towards B where the stack is, but they got the first frag and the second, and now Freddy is all alone in A site. He's got to make this rotate happen with 5-7 out, and Chinamese is there to say, no you don't, and this should be an easy kill there. There you go.
Yao really had a spidey sense tingling pretty hardcore. He knew that he was getting pressed, and it was a great flash by the CTs to get that opening pick, but afterwards they just fell apart in mid immediately, and then that B take was just beautiful shots by Cal State. Hopped in there, got the 2, and were able to take site control, leaving Freddy in mid with an op and a dream.
Yeah, and heading into this one, you're seeing Dangerous and Deca with ops this time. They really haven't found very much success on the T side with those ops, so I'm kind of surprised that they're willing to pick up a second one, but maybe they're just really confident with this from scrims, or maybe they're just really confident with their ops in general. So we'll see how this one goes, and this time UC San Diego isn't going for that aggressive mid pick. They've been very fearless all half, and when you're down by such a score, you really do have to be fearless, but I kind of question that last one because they were winning those individual battles by playing passively. I don't think they needed to go aggressive last round.
I think if they did play aggression, it'd be towards A because it's being solo held by an op. They're only playing 2 towards A, and they have been for several rounds now, and I don't think Cal State's really getting that read they need. They've really been playing a heavy towards B.
Well, here comes the pinch, and it's going to need to be huge here from Tudigos, and actually it's nothing there from Tudigos, so that turns this into a 2v3, even though, God bless me, did find that 2K. It wasn't quite enough to put them in an advantageous situation on this retake, and they're going to have to land some shots, especially with those smokes. They've even got some flashes and nades left here on Cal State. This is going to be all really up to Jungle to land the shots, running through the window with his M4 here. And if he can do it, he could really make this one happen. They're looking at each other through the wall. Instead, Freddy's going to go down. Now, Jungle's going to get in window, so he could make this one happen. But instead, Deca's going to close down his hopes and dreams and pick up the 16th round. 16-9 now for Cal State.
You know, if UC would have been able to pick up maybe 2 more rounds on their T side, I think you would have a really close scoreline here. It might have even gone into overtime. But I think their failure to adjust to kind of what they were playing against really kind of hurt them. And even though they stepped it up on CT and started playing really well, Cal State was just, you know, it was only a matter of time before they were going to find a crack in their defenses for a player missed his shot, and you're going to pick up those extra 2 rounds. That's what we saw here.
Yeah, so that was an interesting game, and ooh, just got weird. Okay, so that was an interesting game, and that's the second last game for tonight. I'm going to be back at 11, so it's in an hour and 19 minutes with the final match of the night, which is going to be UBC Esports versus Stanford. So actually Stanford has an esports division, which is pretty cool, and that's going to be at 11 Pacific, 2 a.m. Eastern, if you guys are staying up for that shit. Anyways, I'm Vu. I'm Vu CSGO on Twitch. This is Vulpine. I don't know. Do you have a Twitch? I think he's only on ESCA.
I'm only a ESCA guy. I'm not moved into the Twitch world yet.
Yeah, so you're only on ESCA. Maybe you should get a Twitch if you're going to keep casting and become a famous caster like me.
I can only dream, Vu. I'm trying day by day. I look at myself in the mirror. I will be you one day, but I do not have the manly voice like you. So maybe after a couple years of throat practice, I can get there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna turn off the stream this time, guys. I gotta turn off my computer for about an hour until the next match. We'll be back 15 minutes before 11, and I'll cast that. I don't think Vulpine's gonna be back. I might be able to commandeer another co-caster, but seems kind of unlikely because the match is late. So I'll be back.
Well, thanks for having me again, and you guys, thanks for watching. I'll kick it around in the Source community and Go community. If you guys want to holler at me in game, the ESCA,